So next, we're going to pick up where I left off. And this section, segregation and Brown versus Board of Education, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read it out loud. I've already read it. And the information in here is great information, but it does not support the topic. Little Rock 9 persevered through many obstacles. Then this section, the Little Rock 9 and Daisy Bates, this is really helpful. This does contain, as I've read it and reread it, this does contain textual evidence proving that the Little Rock 9 persevered through many obstacles. And so as I have read this, when I get to this third paragraph, it reads, on September 4th, 1957, the Little Rock 9 arrived at Central High School for the first day of classes. However, Arkansas Governor Orville Faubus had ordered the Arkansas National Guard to prevent the Black students from entering the school. In scenes that were broadcast across the country, members of the Little Rock 9 were stopped from entering the school by armed soldiers. In addition, a crowd of protesters taunted them, threw things at them, and spat on them. So this is definitely evidence that the Little Rock 9 had to persevere through obstacles, and so I'm going to highlight this. And then I am going to highlight in yellow because anything that supports topic sentence 1 is going to be highlighted in yellow. And then in my notes, I'm going to type topic sentence number 1, and I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to keep reading for more information that proves that the Little Rock 9 persevered through many obstacles. And so as I keep reading, I read this paragraph. It's good, but not necessarily an example that the Little Rock 9 persevered through difficult obstacles. So I'm going to move to the next one. On Monday, September 23rd, the Little Rock 9 tried to enter the high school again. This time they were under the protection of the city's police force. While the National Guard had been removed, the protesters remained. Although the Black students were able to enter Little Rock Central High School, several protesters were able to get inside as well. For their own safety, the Little Rock 9 were asked to leave again. So this, again, is evidence that proves they had to persevere through obstacles, meaning that they tried to enter the school. They did get into the school, but then protesters inside were a problem, and so they were asked to leave the school again. So once again, highlight topic sentence number 1 in yellow, and then anything that supports topic sentence 1 in yellow, and then type in the notes topic sentence number 1 and press save. And so once I have read and found 3 to 4 pieces of evidence proving topic sentence 1, I can then move on to topic sentence 2. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I go to the top of the Gale Research page, click on the word More, and then click on the word Highlights and Notes, and you'll see that all of the direct quotes that I've highlighted and the notes that I've taken are listed, and so I can download those to my Google Drive and press download, and all of my information is saved. So if I go to Google Drive and scroll down, I will find that in my research and context folder that I have on January 25th, 2018 at 7:16 in the morning, I have my information that I highlighted. This information I highlighted supports topic sentence number 1. So now back to my PowerPoint. I do have my topic, the Little Rock 9 students persevered through many difficult obstacles, and then the evidence that I have collected. Notice that I have direct quotes at the beginning and end of my evidence because these are direct quotes. And my third one that I found was many students at Central resented having them, meaning the Little Rock 9, at the school. They taunted them, abused them, spit on them, and threw school supplies at them. When some white students tried to help, they too found themselves being assaulted. Very few of the students who attacked the Little Rock Nine were ever punished. So there are my 3 pieces of evidence to prove topic sentence number 1. And there is a third one, or fourth one, which I found to be very interesting. Melba Patillo Beals, she was a member of the Little Rock Nine. She stated that as a high school sophomore, I suddenly had a bounty on my head. The local White Citizens Council offered $10,000 for me dead and $5,000 for me alive. So that's a pretty difficult obstacle to persevere, to know that there are people, you're a sophomore in high school, and there are people that want you dead or alive. They just want to capture you and put a stop to school integration. So there are 4 pieces of evidence that are highlighted in yellow that support my topic sentence 1. Topic sentence 2 is the Little Rock Nine integrated Little Rock Central High School. And I found 2 pieces of evidence to support that. The mayor of Little Rock asked for help from the president. President Eisenhower sent more than 1,000 U.S. Army soldiers to make sure the Little Rock Nine could attend classes without fear. He also placed the Arkansas National Guard under the direction of the U.S. Army. Finally, on September 25th, the Little Rock Nine were able to attend their first day of classes. So they successfully integrated the school because they attended their first day of classes. The second piece of evidence I located, despite the abuse, the other 8 members of the Little Rock Nine were able to finish their first year at Central High School. In May 1958, Ernest Green became the first Black student to graduate from the school. More evidence to prove that, yes, they did attend a full year of high school. Therefore, they did successfully integrate Little Rock Central High School. And last, the Little Rock Nine were role models for others working to integrate public schools. This is the one that I've been having trouble finding evidence for, but I'm still looking. This is evidence regarding Ruby Bridges, and it reads 17 states in the District of Columbia had segregated schools, and 40% of all public school students in the country lived in these states. In 1960, 5 years after the Brown versus Board of Education II ruling, 6-year-old Ruby Bridges became the first African American child to integrate into an all-white school in the South. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges being escorted home from school by U.S. deputy marshals after being the first African American child to integrate an elementary school in New Orleans. So this is pretty significant that it was 1960 and she was the first African American child to integrate an elementary school in New Orleans. So your job at this point is to read and research while collecting textual evidence that supports your topic sentences. You have to open Gale Research and sign in. You have to open EasyBib and sign in. And as you collect evidence and as you collect articles, you need to export the evidence to Google Drive. You also need to export the citations to EasyBib. And then your headphones should be plugged in while you're working so that if you choose to listen to some of the articles, you can. So I'm excited for you to get started. Your job is to read, research, and collect textual evidence that supports topic sentences. If you choose, you can also use your writer's notebook and jot down textual evidence in your writer's notebook as well as just another way to collect evidence and hold on to the evidence. Time to get started.